Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Charlie, and we are back for another round of the live Ultra Confusion Hangout. I am here with the prolific commenter himself, Zelius.
Greetings and salutations, good Sir Charlie Hawkins. How goes it on this beautiful, almost but not quite spring day?
Well, it depends on who you're asking.
Well, since you are the person who is on the other side of my monitor, I would be asking thou.
Okay, so I'm doing not bad. I sent out my review for Coup Shroud of the Morgan. As some of you probably have seen the review, the 3.7 out of 10, because the controls were beyond broken, and there were some small little glitches that just drove me off the wall, especially if you're going to use in-game cutscenes.
Yep.
Turn off collision. Dear Christ, turn off the collision. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there was one section where your character needed to basically stop on a dime or close to this one center point in the screen. And if you did that, you survived the cutscene. But if you're like me, who's sprinting to see what's next, and you go past that point enough, it just brings your character up, and then the fist of the boss that appears whacks you over the head 3 times, and you're dead.
You're so demanding of a gamer, yo. Why do you want a game to work properly and not piss you off? I don't understand.
I'm sorry. But anyways, let's see. Other than that, not bad. Everything's going good. And now, the cool thing about Coup Shroud of the Morgan is the fact that I started doing the recorded playthroughs. Something that Zelius has been doing. He's basically been spot checking his adventures in Final Fantasy XIV, and I felt left out of trying to do that. So,
wait, I heard Charlie wanting up on something gaming-wise. What the hell?
Yeah, I know. God dang, Zelius. God dang. Anyways, I unfortunately fortunately, Coup Shroud of the Morgan was a great game to start on because it only took me 2 videos.
Okay.
So I kind of got the feel. Now, of course, I added quite a lot of commentary to Coup Shroud of the Morgan simply because there was a lot to talk. There was a lot of, like, I'd say not dead space, but there was room for commentary. Now, that being said, 1954 Alcatraz, which is the game that I'm now playing through, that's going to take much longer than Shroud of the Morgan.
Right on.
And you're not going to hear me talk as much because I'm getting into the story. Now, yes, you'll probably hear me mumble, "Oh, son of a bitch, how the fuck am I supposed to do this next part?" or something like that. But it's not going to be as interactive with me because this game can stand on its own. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
Sounds like a good plan, my friend.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the topic at hand, and that, of course, is either you are in one of 2 parties, or maybe a third party. The third party. Let's start with the third party. You have no idea what the hell an Oculus Rift is.
It is a step towards the Singularity Pultex.
Okay. Well, Zelius knows what the Oculus Rift is, so you're not in that third group. All right. Then you're probably in one of you're in one of the other 2. There's one group that goes, "Oh my God, Oculus sold the Rift to the devil incarnate, aka Facebook."
Oh, the world's coming to an end.
Or you're in the other group going, good for them. They got $2 billion for their product, and now they got $2 billion to create a new product.
Who the hell's like a silver startup company for $2 billion? Really?
Huh?
Who the hell's like a silver startup company for $2 billion, man? If I'm a poor mofo and somebody approaches me, dude, I want to buy a deal for $2 billion, I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, let's
But you weren't waving your finger at me like you disagreed with me.
No. Okay. What a lot of people don't understand is Oculus and Rift are 2 separate entities. Okay? Oculus is the company. Rift is the device.
Yep.
Facebook bought Rift.
Mm-hmm.
not Oculus. A lot of people are like, oh, Facebook bought Oculus. No, they bought Rift, not Oculus.
Oh,
Anyways, okay, moving on. Okay, so as a result, there's been quite a bit of news and craziness happening because of this changing of.
pretty much it was the Great Flame War of March 26, 2014. That's what I saw.
All right, so here's the deal. Most of you probably know this. I'm not going to say his real name because not a lot of people will know that name. I'm just going to go with Notch, which of course is the mastermind behind Minecraft.
Oh,
And he basically, I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not going to. He did not exactly say this, but I'm paraphrasing that he basically. Well, he's removing his development of Minecraft for the Rift because Facebook scares the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are like, oh my God, what? Ah, we've got to follow him. Okay.
Which people, to be fair, were saying before Notch ever said that.
Right. But in all honesty, look, Notch is an amazing person. He's got phenomenal ideas. And he's allowed to say whatever the hell he wants to. Now, I understand there's going to be a lot of people that immediately, upon hearing Notch say that, are immediately going to like, oh my God, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's evil, ah. But there are still a lot of companies, a lot of developers that are still in it to develop their games, okay? Now, the new twist of this story is that all those wonderful individuals who kickstarted the Oculus Rift project way back when, that raised I think like 2.8 or 3 point something millions of dollars.
Seemed like so much at the time.
Yes, there are a ton of Kickstarters that are requesting a refund on their money because they did not know that this product that they kickstarted would be sold to a soulless social media conglomerate site. Zelius, what is your opinion on them requesting the refund of their money?
I understand what their hearts are because one of the ideas when the Oculus Rift was being developed was basically it was a device for the gamers, and it's going to have this open platform. It's going to be epic. But the funny thing is if you look at Facebook from a purely software development standpoint, they're actually a very open development company when it comes to their platforms. In terms of like their server architecture and how they do that stuff and their software, they're actually a very open platform to start with. Mm-hmm. So the idea that all of a sudden Oculus Rift is going to become this like closed entity that nobody can have any control over is actually flies in the face of Facebook's history. Facebook has historically, for their software, they're actually one of the leaders when it comes to like, open software architecture that other companies can actually utilize for their own companies. It's when it comes to things like their policies and procedures from an actual, company aspect of how you interact with the Facebook website, mm-hmm. That's where they become very like, what the hell are they thinking? Nobody knows. But from an actual software standpoint, they're actually probably pretty progressive in that regard. So on one hand, I'm like, I get what their hearts is, and well, let's be honest, even if they're a completely repressive software company, guess what? When you kickstart something, that's one of the chances you take. When you kickstart a product, you take the chance that, guess what? It's going to fall flat on its bloody face, and it's going to be the biggest epic failure in the face of the planet. That's just, to me, that's one of the natures of Kickstarter. It's, you're basically gambling where you don't even get something in return other than maybe a finished product. So, for me, it's kind of like, I'm like, to me, it's more like, to me, it seems like it's less about actually getting the money back, so much as it is trying to raise a stink about it and trying to, make a stand about the Oculus Rift and what it should have been. And, to be granted, some of, the verbiage and how they were talking about the Oculus Rift originally and how it can be a gaming device, etc., that verbiage has very much changed now. That, it's going to be about social media and, how you interact with your friends and stuff versus being this gaming-centric device, which, of course, you can still have gaming and still be friend-oriented at the same time. But then, of course, there's also the shall we say, friend zone of games, where it's like, I just want single-player games. I don't want to talk to people playing video games. But at the same time, you also now have Sony, who's announcing their Morpheus project.
Yeah.
So, Charlie rolls his eyes because that's Sony. But if we're going for a gaming aspect of this virtual reality device, Sony's not a bad company to go with. And I know that Sony's had their ups and downs, especially, it seems like mostly among their portable devices, thank you. Mm-hmm. They've kind of had their ups and downs. The irony behind all this is it seems like the company who I would most expect this type of technology from, I haven't heard a peep from, which is Nintendo. In terms of, leveraging new technology in a very gamer-friendly way to make it enjoyable and not like a hindrance. You know what I'm saying? Like, the motion controls. If Sony or Microsoft were the first one to come out with that, I don't necessarily think it would be as popular as it became. But because Nintendo really did a phenomenal job, I think, when it came out with really making it work with the games, that's what kind of made it also a boom. And look at the motion control market nowadays.
Yep.
It was like skyrocket, and now it's just kind of like plateaued basically. Whereas I think if Sony or Microsoft were the first one to do motion controls, it would have plateaued much quicker. So there's not going to be other companies that don't pop up now into the virtual reality marketplace. Mm-hmm. I mean, it definitely seems like, in the words of Jesse, it's going to be the next gaming gimmick. Is this virtual reality world? So it's kind of like how it's going to work. I think the one thing that would have been nice if the Oculus Rift had remained independent is it did seem very, for everything I've read about it, it's very much what was best for the gamers and how we're going to get the gamers to enjoy this technology. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, obviously, that mission statement is going to be spread elsewhere into other needs and wants, which, let's be honest, Facebook probably doesn't really care a whole lot about the gamers out there. I mean, certainly they'll allow game development on it, just like they do in the Facebook, but not nearly to the same degree as it is now. Mm-hmm. To make it its focal point of how do we make gaming an enjoyable experience on this device. Versus, we have this device that does social media and email and chat. Oh, and you can maybe do games on it if it works. So that's my thoughts on the virtual reality. But it's one step towards the holodeck.
Okay, well, let me reel all the way back to my original question so I can answer it too.
Wait, did I not answer the question? I may have answered it like over here in left field.
I'm sure you kind of were like, and then we're like over here, and then maybe over here, and then over here, and then somewhere back over that way. Okay, anyways, all right. So there's a bunch of people on Kickstarter who are requesting their money back.
I did go with. I started with that. Anyway,
you started right. Okay, so here's the deal. The product was made. You funded or donated money for a product to be made.
Yeah.
You do not have ownership in the company. You do not have any personal. Yes, your name is on a thank you letter, but you have no personal rights to said device. That would be like you crowdsource or funding a I don't know, like a new caffeine drink from an independent person, the next best energy drink, and you helped make it possible, and then that company turns around and sells it to Coke.
No, not Coke.
Look, here's the deal. Oculus has completed their contract, their promise to you. Either they gave you a Rift development kit, or you got, your swag or whatever. You're done. They could do whatever they want to do with the product. You can have an opinion about what they do, but it's not going to financially change your place at all, because they made good on their promise to you. It's not like a developer who halfway through sold it to somebody that you don't know what the hell's going to happen. The Rift was created.
I think that's also more of where I see it more as we're making a statement more than actually get money back.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think they saw it not just as they didn't see it just as, yes, they finished the product. But I think when they Kickstart, they saw it as so much more than just the initial phase of the product. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
That's not the reality, but I think that's how they saw it.
Right. Well, okay. So there is one thing that for developers and for gamers, that is scary as crap about this move is that the Rift is now going to be first a social media device. Zuckerberg is going to make sure that this is the next iteration of social media, so that Facebook, one, keeps relevant and is a bigger company than just that webpage, and two, takes it to the next level. So their development, the further refining and development of the product software is not going to be geared towards how can we make it easier for video game or game developers to work on it. It's going to be how can we get the best social experience out of the Rift. Like when I have the things on, I want to feel like I'm really at a concert, or I'm at a sporting event, or I'm at a lecture, or I'm in a super special room with all my friends and I could chit chat and interact with the environment. That is what the focus is going to be on. Not, oh gee willikers, this Space Odyssey game is having a little glitch here. That's not going to be their focus. They are a social media company.
Yep.
And for better or for worse, one of the things that you're going to see as this move from the Rift being basically a game-centric device to a more social media-centric device is that the design, the physical design has to change, because I'm going to be honest with you, it is not a sexy design. Okay, it looks like you've got ski goggles with like a cigar box just right on top of it. I understand it's monitors to help relay whatever. They're going to have to make it sleeker. They're going to have to make it cheaper, not like quality of product, like quality of components, but
the price.
Right, exactly. The price has to go down. Right now it's at $350. There's no way that a third-party peripheral, even if it is the Facebook, I guess it would be the first-party peripheral for Facebook, there's no way that a shit ton of people are going to buy a $350 device. Because the thing is, the majority of what they're hoping to accomplish with this device is third-party. Like they would have to... they would have to partner with Live Nation that does a lot of the concerts, or the actual venues, or universities. And then those places would also have to upgrade their technology to allow that. There is so much extra stuff that's going on behind. So,
but here's the other question too, though.
Yeah.
So you're talking about upgrading, say, universities, right?
Yep.
Obviously we don't know the answer to this yet, but you could have the Oculus Rift, or whatever they're going to call it in the future, the Facebook Rift.
Mm-hmm.
Face Rift.
Yeah, sure.
I'm copywriting that right now. Face Rift. Be right back. You're going to have the Sony one, and who knows what's going to come out of the woodwork.
Right.
Are each of these devices going to have basically, their own kind of proprietary VR system where, Face Rift only works with, Live Nation, but the Sony one only works with MIT, but they can't interlope with each other. So how's that going to work out with the VR systems?
Well, I think it would all boil down to the type of servers that are going to be hosting all these individuals, and also the architecture. We know that Microsoft, for this iteration of the Xbox, has made it so that their architecture is identical on the Xbox One as it is on the PC.
Sure.
So you're seeing a fluid movement between the two if you desire. Now, the Sony PlayStation is more powerful, but their architecture is absolutely unique. So you would think that their VR device would only work with Sony branded servers and devices, where the Rift, because it's, and this could change because now that Facebook has it, they really dictate where it's going to go from here. But since it started in basically like an open space, the potential is that the Rift potentially has a larger, a higher ceiling as to what can go through that, as long as they make the deals. Now, of
And
course,
that's what I would think.
right,
Because I see Sony more as the company who wants to, they want to have the closed garden. You know, they want to have their little section of the world. Whereas Facebook, they want as many people as possible on their system. And they kind of have that history of, you know, openness in their software architecture. So I see them more being like, dude, we want everybody, we don't care how. We just want people to use our damn VR platform, basically.
right.
That's
Well,
kind of what I see happening.
Right. And one thing that they have working in their favor is that they're still the big dog in social media. Now,
Well, look at how much they bought. I mean, what, $22 billion worth of stock in the last 3 weeks, basically, with that other company, whose name I forget.
yeah, I can't remember either, but
Some company I never heard of, honestly.
right. So I mean, it will be interesting. I am saddened that the focus will change off of games, but to be honest, there are still a lot of developers out there who are still really excited to see what they can do with the Rift.
Yep.
One of the companies, of course, is the Atlanta-based one of their headquarters, their North American headquarters, is in Atlanta. That, of course, is CCP, or Crowd Control Productions, the makers of Eve. They're going to make a game called Eve Valkyrie for the Rift. That's still on. They're still very excited about putting their game out on the Rift. So we'll see what the future holds for it. I'm personally, I'm going to slightly hold my breath on this one until we get a couple months down the road to see if the fallout truly happens, or if Facebook continues to mold the product that everybody was hoping for, at least in the development community, so that we could see some of these awesome, unique designs that developers have been spending countless hours on since they were able to get their original dev kit.
Honestly, in the long run, like I'm talking like a month from now, I don't really see a whole lot of fallout from this, because it seems like, you know, what you see on the internet. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Stop moving. I'm like, either he's a really good mummy and he just stopped, or, yeah.
Are you still there? Hello? Hello?
Yo.
Hello? 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 Ah, son of a gun.
Something really froze you. I don't know if you can hear me, but
I can hear
you're
you.
in like creepy slow motion.
I can hear you.
I'm gonna call back and see how it goes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the technical difficulties. It would appear that my internet has reset itself. Reset itself? Whatever. Anyways, we have, of course, gone to the 30-minute mark. So, unfortunately, the recording portion of this live broadcast has come to an end. So, we would like to say thank you for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday for yet another edition of All Too Confusion Hangout. And, of course, if you like to watch something slightly different, I hope that I get another one in tomorrow. But anyways, for myself, Charlie, and Zelius, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.